In 2009, Jonelle Melton lived in Neptune City, New Jersey. She had a room in the Brighton Arms building. She taught at the Red Bank Middle School. She was very interested in history and knew how to get her children interested in it too. On September 14, 2009, by 8 a.m., Jonelle still hadn't gone to school. A guest speaker was coming to talk to her class, so it was a big day. The school secretary asked Jonelle's ex-husband, Michael Melton, to go check on her at her apartment. Jonelle met Michael after college. He said he used to flirt with her a little bit. They went on dates and got married in Jamaica in August 2003. They both got jobs as teachers at Red Bank Middle School. The marriage went well for about 3 years. Michael said that he didn't usually get so much love or care. He was gone a lot because he started a business selling basketballs. Michael finally asked for a breakup. Jonelle got used to having a room of her own. Still friends, they talked every day on the phone. When the school secretary told Michael that Jonelle didn't come to work, he went straight to her apartment. He called her name when he got inside the house. She was lying on the floor when he went into her room. Michael saw something that looked like blood on Jonelle's dress. He thought she must have fallen while putting on her makeup. He called 911. Michael said he remembered asking Jonelle what she had done. He thought that she might have hurt herself because she couldn't handle being apart. At 9:20 a.m., emergency workers went to Jonelle's apartment. They found out very quickly that she was dead. Investigators found that she had been beaten and tortured. She was cut 5 times and shot twice in the head. She got hit so hard that she broke her jaw in 2 places. Investigators thought that at least 2 people were behind the killing because of how nasty it was. They came in through the window in the kitchen. There was a footprint on the chair by the window. The kitchen in the apartment was a mess. The drawers were open, and it looked like someone was going through the cereal boxes. People think that she was killed on September 13th in her bedroom. Investigators found an old and torn piece of duct tape. People think it held something together. Her body was found near some rubber gloves and duct tape that had blood on them. The evidence was collected and put away so that it could be used later. Michael was the first person to find her body, so the police talked to him. First, the police tried to find out as much as they could about his relationship with Jonelle. Michael said that they still saw each other every now and then. He said he thought the questions were very unclear, but the police needed as much information as they could get. Michael said that he was at a friend's house the night Jonelle died. His story was investigated. The police talked to Michael's friend, and his phone records showed that he wasn't anywhere near Jonelle's apartment on the night of the crime. Michael also agreed to have his DNA taken 2 days after Jonelle was killed. There was a news story on the piece. It said that Michael was her ex-husband. People thought that Michael was the one who killed her. Michael said that it seemed like everyone was against him. Jonelle's family and friends all thought that he was at fault. Michael's friend was a lawyer, and he told Michael that he would defend him for free. Anyone could not talk to him. Michael went back to work and found a note on his desk that said he couldn't teach or talk to kids anymore. Michael and his lawyer talked to people from the school. While the investigation was going on, he was told to get a desk job. On November 10th, 2009, 2 months after Jonelle's body was found, the DNA from the duct tape came back. The duct tape had Michael's DNA on it. Jonelle's DNA was also in the blood that was left behind. Before the attack, the police thought Jonelle was tied to a chair with duct tape. Michael said that when he found Jonelle, the tape was stuck to his shoe, so he took it off with his hands. This is how his DNA got on the tape. When Michael learned that no one thought he was innocent, he started drinking. He had even considered killing himself. On the pink lighter, the DNA was also found, but the results were not clear. All of the evidence was sent to the office of the medical examiner in New York City so it could be looked at more carefully. Police were still getting tips months after Jonelle was killed. One neighbor thought something loud was going on. One woman said her dogs were awoken by the noise. Someone noticed that a tall black man who didn't live in the building was acting strangely near the flat. Many of Jonelle's friends and family were angry that these neighbors kept this secret for so long. On December 3rd, 2012, 3 years after the crime, the police found that the suspect's DNA was on the lighter. It turned out that Gregory Jean-Baptiste owned it, who was a member of the Bloods gang. The police then spoke to him. Baptiste said that he had never met Jonelle or been to her house before. Baptiste wouldn't tell the police what he had done, so the police had to keep asking him the same questions over and over. He said he was done talking after 27 minutes. Michael asked a friend for help to clear his name. The friend went outside to talk to the people who lived there. The friend did find out important information, and Michael told the police what he knew. Gang members were looking for a drug dealer named David James, who also goes by the name Munch. Jonelle and David both lived in the same neighborhood. People were talking about how David had $15,000 in a freezer. They heard his girlfriend's friends talking about drugs at a party. Because they went to the wrong apartment, they thought that Jonelle was David's lover. The agents then went out to talk to anyone who would. Then someone with information gave them 3 names. A 4th person, a woman, drove them away. They found men with the names Ebenezer Bird, Gregory Jean-Baptiste, and Jerry Spalding. They were all members of the Bloods. Later, it was found out that the woman was Elizabeth Pinto, who had dated Ebenezer Bird before. On December 1st, 2015, a woman named NARIKA Scott said that the driver who helped the thieves get away was named Elizabeth Pinto. NARIKA had been Ebenezer Bird's latest girlfriend. During one of their trips to the prison, she heard him say that he did it. She told the police about it. The police could tell that she was very afraid to talk to them. Elizabeth Pinto was asked to say something, but she didn't want to. She finally said that Jonelle deserved to be punished, and she admitted that she was the one who drove them away. She said that all 3 men were wearing black and gave her directions on where to drive. Pinto saw pictures of all 3 guys and knew their names. She said she didn't know where she was headed. She told them that she would show them where she had put them down. She said she was part of a plan, and she chose to give evidence against all 3 men. Pinto also told the police that all 3 guys were wearing gloves made of latex. Pinto dropped them off near their apartment and watched as they crossed the street to get there. On March 23, 2016, all 3 men were charged with murdering Jonelle, robbery in the 2nd degree, plotting, and using illegal guns. All of them said they were innocent. The trial began on January 17, 2019. The most important piece of proof for the defense was Elizabeth Pinto. The defense said that Michael was the real culprit. The defense said that a lot of information hadn't been put to the test yet. On September 13, 2009, the detectives thought Jonelle was home alone. Elizabeth Pinto saw all 3 guys when she went to Bird's mom's house. She had her take them to the Brighton Arms flats. Baptiste came in through the window and dropped his lighter on the floor. Then he opened the sliding door so that the others could come in. Jonelle was in her room before the attack. She was tied with tape to a chair. When they got to the apartment, they found out they were in the wrong place. They were looking for money and drugs. They probably shot Jonelle, so she couldn't figure out who did it. Phone records showed that all 3 guys were at Jonelle's apartment. They were all found to have killed Jonelle, stolen, worked together, and had guns. A 4th person, James Fair, was also found to have planned to break in. He told people that David put his money in the freezer. All of them got life in prison. Elizabeth Pinto said she was part of a plan, so she was put on probation. The judge of the Superior Court, Joseph W. Oxley, said that their 28-year crime spree is over. James Fair is in prison for 82 years for acts that have nothing to do with each other. One of Melton's sisters, Connie Sadler, told the judge how hard the victim worked at her job and how much she cared about her kids. Connie said that Jonelle was more than just a teacher, and that teaching was her job. She thought that Jonelle knew God had called her to be a teacher, and that Jonelle wanted to do more for her kids than just help them do well in school. Connie also said that Jonelle wanted to make a real, long-lasting difference in their hearts and lives. Connie said that what those 3 guys did to her sister was terrible and bad. She knew that Jonelle was a Christian, but she thought that Jonelle would want her to forgive them. Connie told them that she had prayed for them and asked God to be kind to them. In the end, she said that she thought every deed has a result. Michael Melton went to treatment and is now working on his business of putting basketball players in the spotlight. He said that when he found out the truth about what happened to Jonelle, he felt relieved because he knew he wasn't to blame. But he also said that he was very sad that she had died because of a fight over money. He said that his life was no longer about him. Instead, it was about doing good things for the community and trying to save people's lives. He said that this gave him a sense of calm and gave him something to look forward to every day. He knew he had been given a second chance, so he stressed how important it was to make the most of it. Paul Jandreau. In 2010, Paul Jandreau, who was 51 years old and had been a Navy chief and Grand Master Chief, lived in Moyock, North Carolina. He had 2 kids, Stephanie and Christina. Paul was married more than once before he left the Navy. Mike, his brother, said that he was a good guy with many close friends and family. At the time, Paul was married to Leticia. In 2002, he met her in a boxing class. Leticia was a good athlete and a professional lifter. She was 29 years old. In June 2010, the National American Sports Federation gave her the North Carolina bodybuilding title. Leticia worked in people services at a children's hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. People said that Paul and Leticia were happy and loved each other, even though they were different. In 2009, Leticia started working for BLACKWATER Airlines. At the same time, she kept training for bodybuilding. But their relationship got worse after Leticia lost a baby with twins. They also had trouble in their marriage, and Paul filed for a divorce 2 weeks before he went missing. There were signs of stress, like when Paul said that Leticia had broken into his car and put keys in it. On June 30, 2010, Paul didn't come to work, which worried his co-workers because he was always on time. Lisa Starcher, a deputy sheriff, went to Paul's house to check on him, but no one answered the door. When Leticia's office called her, she met the officer and let her into the house. Leticia said that they were both seeing other people and that their relationship was open. She thought that Paul might have left to be with one of his other dates. People thought something bad had happened because no one knew where Paul was for days. Co-workers and neighbors helped look for him and put up signs saying he was lost. On July 1st, 2010, Paul's phone rang off a tower in Elizabeth City, which is about 30 minutes from his home. The police looked at nearby hotels and thought they had seen Paul at a Hampton Inn, but they were wrong. But in Elizabeth City, a construction worker found Paul's phone in the parking lot of an elementary school and turned it over to the police. On the same day, a neighbor called 911 to say that she saw Leticia and an unknown man moving furniture out of the house. Leticia was told to put the furniture back in the house when the police showed up. Neighbors and co-workers saw strange things being used to cover the windows, like wrapping paper and frosting spray. People said Leticia and Paul's marriage was getting worse after their IVF attempts failed and their babies died. On July 2nd, Leticia said she would give Paul's computer back, but she wasn't there when the police showed up. Leticia was somewhere else when she called 911 to say that someone was outside her house. But the operator was able to trace the call back to the house in Bronzy Landing. When the police came back with a search warrant, Leticia was hiding in a closet. During the search, they went into Paul's bedroom and found blood, a bullet hole, and a bullet track. In the garage, they found a toad that was covered with a shower curtain. They found Paul's dead body under layers of plastic tape and kitty litter. Cleaning tools, used bullets, duct tape, glue, and plastic wrap were all found in the house. This shows that someone was trying to hide something. They told Leticia what they had found. She then made up a story that she had hired some guys in Elizabeth City to beat up Paul. She said that, in Elizabeth City, she met guys on the street who told her that Paul was mistreating her. Leticia couldn't convince the police, so they arrested her. In another change of events, after being locked up for about a day, Leticia said she wanted to talk. Now, she said that she did kill Paul, but that she did it to protect herself. Leticia said that early on July 30, 2010, Paul struck her. She said that he came into her room with a gun and told her she had to leave the house before he got home from work. Leticia said that she got her .45mm gun, went to Paul's room, and just kept shooting. She said that they fought, even though he had been shot a few times. The gun Letitia had was in her car at her house, which is where the police found it. Kyle KOENIG, a former Air Force general and one of Letitia's boyfriends, was listed as the owner of the gun. She took away the gun he was holding. Letitia had been sued by a different boyfriend. The police found a copy of the case at the house. The man said that Letitia had used him. Letitia asked him for money and told him she was going to have twins with him. After the man told him, Paul asked for a divorce. A ticket for the tote was also found in the house. Letitia bought the bag at Lowe's in September 2012. Surveillance video caught this happening. Letitia spoke at the time of her hearing. She stayed with her story that she shot Paul to protect herself. But what she said didn't match the truth. Paul had been hit hard by something and shot several times. There was a bullet hole in the door to the master bedroom. People think that Letitia caught Paul off guard when he shut the door. Letitia shot him several times and hit him in the head with the gun. The lawyer and one of his co-workers also said that Paul had told them about waking up one night to find Letitia crawling across his room. Paul reportedly told his lawyer that from then on, he always locked his room door. Mike, Paul's brother, said the last time he saw Paul was in February at the Daytona 500 stock car race. He also said that Paul had told him about his marriage problems and that Letitia was having an affair with him. Mike thought back. He had been talking about getting a divorce for weeks. He told me that she was cheating on him, and he had proof. All he wanted was for her to leave his house so he could get his life back. Letitia was found guilty of killing Paul and stealing a gun. She got a life sentence with no chance of getting out. In 2014, Letitia's petition was denied. People think she killed Paul because she didn't want to give up the good life he gave her. She was good at getting what she wanted, and she used Paul and a few other guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more like it. Also, make sure to hit that reminder bell so you never miss an update from us.